So glad that you're with me today. My name is Christina and I am coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina, where I live with my husband and my adult kiddos. And I am just grateful that you're all here. I've had quite a few new subscribers, so welcome in. Glad to have you. I'm glad you decided to spend some time with me as just a person that likes fiber arts and sharing a little bit about my profession. So I'm glad that you have decided to spend some time with me. Very grateful. And those of you that are coming back, welcome back in. I'm also so glad that you have decided to come back and hang out with me. You can find me on the all the social media, but on Instagram as XtinakYarnie, that's spelled KNITTAH, and on Ravelry as XtinakYarnie. So you can hang out with me over there as well. And glad that you're in with me today. I have a little bit, I have one FO, which you could probably see, a featured pattern right here, some couple things that I'm working on, and a little bit of embroidery, a little bit of sewing, and some knitting, of course. So, and a couple of acquisitions. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So glad to have you in. I'm also going to have a video at the end, and I'll talk a little bit about a little store that is really close to my home that I wanted to share, that has a lot of makes that other people have made, crochet, welding. You'll see it. It's a really cute store, so I thought I would share it with you as well. So we can start definitely with the finished or featured pattern that I have for you today, which is the Miss May shawl, and that is by Helen Stewart. And this shawl is all fingering weight, and it is a mix of yarn from the Wicked Knitted, Toad Hollow, and Trilogy yarn. So if I remember correctly, this kind of maroon color here is the Trilogy yarns, and this is all, I have a project page on Ravelry for the colorways if you're interested. This one here, I believe this orange one is the Toad Hollow, and then I think this, at least this one is the Wicked Knitted one. So I'll pull this off. I should be naked for a second. So you can see, it's just, I did it as the MCal. And it's just a really beautiful pattern. So I'll hold this up. It starts up here and then goes into this one, which I think this is a Toad Hollow. And then this one may be Toad Hollow. I can't remember. I have it on the project page though, if you're interested in checking it out. But it's just a really fun knit, different textures pattern. It was an MCal. But gosh, it's fun. And you know, sometimes it's really nice. I love a big Stephen West shawl, right? Like I love a schlanket. That's not a problem. You know, I'm kind of tall enough to be able to handle that kind of, and broad-shouldered enough. But sometimes it's nice just to have a little shawl to throw on. And so I generally will just kind of throw it on the way that I think a lot of people do. I have had people tell me that it's a nice cowl because it's not, you know, it's not a very big shawl, but it's pretty and it's light, and so I can wear it pretty much here anytime because it's warm, well, other than summer, but you know, fall, winter, whatever is needed. But if you're looking for kind of a fast, but you can use different color, you know, use up some of the yarn you have in your stash, but you just want something that has different textures, check this one out. It's a really, really fun one. So there you go. So yeah, so that was my featured pattern for this episode. which is episode 8. Can you believe it? Just hang that back up so she's not showing everything off there. Just hang that over there. Okay. All right. So that's the featured pattern, and the finished object. I have 2, obviously. One of them is living on my pretty little head here. This is the tam, excuse the hair, and I'm not going to pronounce it. It's Sneachda tam by Stefanie Pollmeier. Look how fun that is. I love the crown decreases on it. So pretty. And then that little textured pattern right there. And here's where I was, right there on that stitch marker. There's where I was. And this stitch marker I think came with a hypnotic yarn. It's just a cute little rainbow. And so this, I believe I did in the recommended needle, which I believe is a 2.5. It still came out pretty big. I made the biggest size, so my head is a circumference of 22 inches, so I made the bigger size, and I didn't mind it big. I didn't have a lot of super slouchy hats, so you know, you can wear it to the side if you want. You can wear it to the back, kind of however you want to do that, you can do. So it's really pretty. Really fun hat pattern, great texture, and as you know, I made this out of the Chelsea Luxe Zodiac series, and that was in the Cancer colorway, and I have, as you can see, 34, a little over 34 grams of that left. So that can end up being like something in some socks at some point, or maybe it'll go in, a little bit of it'll go into my cozy comfort throw that I'm making as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But that is one of my FOs. And then my other FO, I talked to you guys about this last time. I was making a project bag, and I was using the tutorial from Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears on their Patreon page, and I did get it done. So here it is. Look how cute that is, and it's just orange on the inside and then striped. The cute little box bottom, not super well ironed at all, but that's okay. So and it has a cute little handle, and so I was really proud of this. I've wanted to make a project bag. I've never made one. It has some kind of quilt, kind of thick fleece on the inside. So I'm really happy with this. My only issue with this is that the zipper doesn't work. See? Doesn't actually latch the zipper, and I'm not sure. I'm not going to take it as a fail, but I'm not sure what happened there. So she has you trim the edges of the zipper before you sew it up, and I don't know if it was trimming the edges. It could also be that I bought a really inexpensive zipper, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just need to put it a little bit more money, but I thought, you know, this is going to be the first one that I make. You know, I'll just get something that is not a big deal. So we'll see. Definitely more project bags will be made. I have some fabric in the future that I'd like to cut out and just practice again, because I'd really like to be able to make some. You know, who knows if it would turn into a business thing. I don't think it would at this point in time, but you never know what the future holds. But you know, I'm taking it as a learning experience, and maybe I'll have one as a giveaway at some point. That would be fun. So yeah, so here's the bag. It's cute. At least I think it's cute. You know, it's wrinkly. It's, you know, it is what it is. So I'm happy with first try. You know, it doesn't have any holes in it. It works. I can sit it next to me with something in it, and even though the zipper doesn't work, you can still put something in there. So yeah. So not a perfect FO, but you know what? Sometimes we have to start somewhere when we learn, right? It's not like we jump off and get it perfect every time. So I'm happy with it. So those are my 2 FOs for this episode. What am I working on? Well, the 2 sweaters that I was working on last time. So this is the Alpine Bloom, and I've changed out to fall bags, right? This one is not a new one, but let me tell you, when you get a bag from Stitching the High Notes, you know, you're getting a good quality bag. Her zippers work, like mine. But anyway, so that's living in one of my Stitching the High Notes bags from Joanna, and she announced on her channel that she is going full-time into her business, so I'm really happy for her. I mean, that's quite an achievement to be able to do that full-time, so great for her. Check out her website, I'll have it linked below. But this is housing my Alpine Bloom sweater by Caitlyn Hunter, and I have split for sleeves. So here is my cute little sheep. I believe this is from, wow, I'm drawing a blank. Simply Serving. Yeah, cute little sheep stitch marker that I was just using to show where I was. So that's where I was last time. Right there. And I have finished up that color work, split for sleeves, and I'm now just knitting away on the body. So I was able to try it on yesterday. Very happy with the fit. I have notoriously made sweaters that are a little bit too big for me, and this one I think is going to fit perfect. So I'm really happy about that. I will stand up so you guys can see it. There you go. So I have, probably another, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches. Probably another 5 or 6 inches to go on the body. But I'm really pleased. Oh, sorry, that's my scrap yarn for the sleeves. I am really happy with the color work. This is just a real quick steam that I put on there. It'll get straightened out a little bit more when I wet block it. But very happy with that. And I just have another stitch marker, also from Simply Serving. Cute little gnome. Look how cute that is. So stinking cute. Little girl gnome. And then these, I believe I also got from Simply Serving, and they're just little gingerbread, sorry for bumping the mic, little gingerbread stitch stoppers. So stinking cute. So, and this I am making out of the Capretta in the Meridian Heather, and that does have a little bit of cashmere in it, merino wool cashmere nylon, so it's an MCN base. There we go. From Knitpicks, very soft, very squishy. Really enjoying working with it, and you know, I'm really pleased with the stitch definition. I think the stitches are coming out fabulously beautiful. So happy with that. This will be my Rhinebeck sweater, which will probably be too hot to wear anyway, but I'm gonna wear it anywho. So but yeah, I'm really thrilled with that. So pretty. And the color work, the yarn that I used for that, which is linked in my project page, I only have 4 ounces, 4 grams, sorry, 4 grams left of that yarn. And that was this yarn. It is a discontinued yarn, sorry, but it's what I had in my stash. So, which was this. So that is the JoJo Land Melody Superwash. So, you know, it doesn't always have to be spin cycle. If you have a color changing yarn, there are some that are a little bit more budget friendly, depending on what your budget is, than spin cycle. So, you know, I think this just really goes to show that you can make a beautiful sweater with yarn that isn't necessarily high end, right? So yeah, I'm thrilled with this, and I will get to move my stitch marker up. And you know, one of the things I want to talk about too, because it kind of rolls, and I'll talk more about this at the end in the like little therapy talk, but one of the things that I do, I don't know if you guys do this at all, and you know, feel free to let me know, but one of the things that I do, and I'm trying to find it, right here. So I have this little orange stitch marker on here, and it's just a light bulb stitch marker, nothing fancy, right? And what I've been doing just to kind of help, because you know, I don't know about you, but for me, when I'm just knitting away on going around and around and around in a circle, like it gets a little bit, you get like, am I really making much progress, right? Especially at the beginning, you can't really tell. And so I put that stitch marker on there. So like when I start knitting and I sit down to knit, you know, just to kind of see how much I can do, it kind of helps me see the progress that I've made on that, you know, that time, or that time of sitting down to knit. So anyway, that's just something that I do to kind of help myself get motivated or continue to be motivated, because just sitting there and knitting like that, even though I love knitting, you know, it gets a little tedious to me after a while. So just a little something that I do. And the next thing that I have been working on is my striped sweater by Andrea Mowry. And I am loving this. This thing is flying through, let me tell you. So on this one, move my scrap yarn, I also have split for the sleeves. There's the sleeve split. Yeah, so. And this is in Rama Fennel, which is, I believe, 100% wool. Here's where I was the last time. So I've done a lot of knitting on this. I just split for sleeves like five or six rows ago. So right there, not far. Another beautiful pattern, well written. Her patterns are so good. That's why she's, you know, one of those great designers, right? But this is going to be a nice warm sweater. I'm not sure how long I'm going to go on the sleeves though, but I can stand up and show this one as well. So yeah, so I've gone through all of the colors. They are all listed on my project page as well, but just to show some of them, the one I'm currently working on is this one. There we go. And then here's another one. So it's just Rama Fennel. It's 100% wool, I believe. I'm going to pull out the tag from the middle of the ball. But yeah, 100% wool. This one is $4.97. I'm sure they probably have color names on the website, but yeah, that's it. And this is for the knit along for the Woolly Thistle, and all of this was purchased at the Woolly Thistle. So all of the different colors, which you saw before. So just knitting away on that one. This one, you know, it's kind of funny. I was just talking about using that stitch marker. On this one, I'm not necessarily doing that because you get to change colors, you know, like every, I think it's 8 rows or something like that. But great stitch definition on this. It is a woolly wool, so, you know, if you are someone that likes wool that is superwash, you know, really, really soft, this is probably not going to be your wool. It's a pretty toothy wool. But I think that, you know, when I block it, I think it'll bloom beautifully. You could always wear a cami underneath it or something, you know, something like that. And this one also has some stitch stoppers. So cute little snowmen, or snow women, snow people, from Simply Serving as well. So just pulled out some stuff that I've had in the past, and as my beginning of row marker, I just used this one little leaf pattern one for fall. I felt like it went with the theme. So I'm hoping, I mean, this one it would be lovely to have done to take up to Rhinebeck or Woolen Folk, albeit both with me. So we'll see, you know. It's so pretty. I'm so enjoying that one. So that one is fun. And the other thing that I've been working on that is a work in progress is, I have to look at my notes because I don't remember exactly what it's called, the Cozy Comfort Throw by a Homespun House. And this is, so far, you know, I have a bare yarn, nothing fancy, just Knit Picks bare. I think it's Stroll bare, if I remember correctly. So yeah, so just plain old yarn. And my minis, right now, the last few, let's see where I was. Last time I had a stitch marker in there somewhere. Where is it? I promise I did. It's apparently hiding. There it is. So here's where I was last time. I was right there. And so I've done all of this from here to here, which is probably about, oh, I don't know, 5 inches. But here's what we have so far. So pretty. And it's just a nice one to pull out, especially if I'm on, you know, kind of a difficult call. Sometimes I'll pull this out and use my knitting as a coping skill for myself. And just quietly sit in the background and use that. I have ends that I have to weave in, but we'll get there. I'm not worried about that. So I've been kind of working through an old mini set from Toad Hollow, which I cannot tell you how excited I am that they are going to be, that they're dying again. Those two ladies, they're so talented. I have, you know, as I used it in here, I still have some in my cabinet back here, somewhere like, oh, right about there. And so anyway, so I'm thrilled that they're going to be dying again. Go check them out if you can. But I'm working through a mini collection that I had of theirs. Currently, it's Halloween at the Hollows mini set. And how perfect is that for this time of year, right? So that is what I'm currently working through. This is the colorway that I pulled out. And then the two that are left are these two. And then I have a whole bucket full of minis that I'm gonna, you know, and leftover yarn that I'm gonna be pulling from. But currently I'm just working through that. So that's a fun one. Looking forward to having a nice blanket at some point. Nice and scrappy. The way it should be, in my opinion. So that's bringing me some joy lately. And I said that I had some embroidery, and I do. My soon-to-be daughter-in-law has decided on the shoes that she's going to wear, and I'm she's so cute. She's going to be very sensible, which is the thing that I probably should have done at my wedding. But, you know, I wore heels. This was almost 23 years ago. So she is wearing some cute little shoes, and she asked me if I could embroider on her shoes, and I said absolutely. And I thought it was adorable because my father-in-law, and I should have brought them down, maybe I'll put a picture in at some point, but when I was getting married to my husband, my father-in-law offered to paint on the soles of my shoe, kind of at the top of the sole of the shoe, so I didn't wear it out. But on one shoe, it has a little frog, and the other shoe says, "I found my prince." So I thought it was adorable that I had artwork on my shoes, and she asked to have a little bit of artwork, you know, on her shoes. So, you know, how do you say no to that? I absolutely couldn't. So we went last weekend and picked out some embroidery floss. This is just me dropping it on the floor. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. This is just DMC from Joann's. You know, nothing fancy. Just took her there. She picked out the colors that she wanted for the flowers. So we have a little orange. It's kind of a peachy orange. Some blue. Couple pinks, some yellow, a green that I just dropped on the floor, a lavender color, and the green you'll see, I'm not going to pick it up again, you'll see it on the shoe. So she picked out some sensible, like kind of kid shoes, and so I just drew out some flowers on either side. I have to draw some on the other shoe at some point, but I just started doing some embroidery. So little, some French knots, just some little floral stitches, kind of back stitched leaves. I still have to finish a leaf right there. But these, I think they're going to be adorable. So I will keep showing those as I do them. I will say I didn't realize how hard, literally hard, it would be to embroider through shoes. It's not super easy, but that's okay. That is okay. So super cute. I'm looking forward to adding some flowers additionally on there. So working on that as well. So that is the last of my whips, and I will jump right into acquisitions. So first acquisition, I'm going to not open this because it's going to be crunchy. This is from Freckled Whimsy, and I just couldn't say no. I know it's the end of, you know, summer. It's going to turn into fall, and this might not be the most season appropriate, but I don't care. I loved it. I wanted it. So here it is. Look how stinking cute that is. I mean, those are my colors, right? So this is on her Splendid base, which is 85 merino nylon and 437 yards. And this one is called Squeeze the Day. So stinking pretty and soft. Cannot tell you how soft that yarn is. Pinks and blue and green. So those will be some socks at some point. I've been getting the itch. I kind of lost my sock mojo for a little bit. I've been getting the itch to make some socks, but I'd like to get some of this stuff off my needles and finish before Rhinebeck. So I'm really trying not to cast on any more things, right? Okay. The other thing is I purchased some yarn from Whole Scarn. So I ordered some Whole Super Soft for the Stephen West knit along, and I will show a couple of the two that I've done. I did Slipstravaganza and one that was a year after that I can't think of the name of, but I'll show those next time. And so I bought some whole super soft. That was what was in my budget. And so that's what I'm going with this year. So that being said, I purchased some yarn that I thought would work as a gradient, but the colors were too close together. So I have, I'll show what I purchased, but I did order some more so that the colors were not so close together. So I guess I'll start with this one, or this two. There's a peek inside the mess, right? Okay, so whole super soft is not super soft, as everybody's been saying, and it's not. It's a toothy wool, but I kind of like a toothy wool, to be honest with you. So this one is going to be really dark because I'll turn my light on real fast, see if that'll help. There we go, a little bit. So this is super soft. There's the colorway is SLOE, and it's just a really deep, deep, deep purple. This one is elderberry, and so if you can see, there's a little bit of difference, but there's not much difference between those. And then the other ones, which I am going to be using in the mystery knit along, are these. And I'm just going to grab one of each. You don't need to see both of them. They're the same color. Okay. This one is aubergine, or eggplant colored. And there you go. And then this one I thought would be the lightest one, and it is called Parma. And that's pretty true to color. So if I hold these up together, if I can get them in my little hot little hands here, see, they're all kind of close to each other, right? So what I did is I went back, well, there you go, not the best at showing them. So there's just not that much difference in them. So what I did was I went kind of back to the drawing board with Holst, went back on their website, and I'm still going to use these two. So I'm still going to use aubergine and Parma. I ordered a really kind of like indigo blue, like a really dark blue, to kind of be the darkest of the color. So it'll go from, and then I already had a little bit of the sweet pea that I broke into, I think, on the slip extravaganza, to be honest with you. And so it'll be a different dye a lot, but it'll probably be fine. So this is sweet pea, and it's just a really light pinky purple. Yeah, that's good. So it's gonna go like this, and then over here will be kind of a deep, kind of inky indigo blue. And so I think that's going to be really pretty for the Geo Gradient knit along. So I don't know if any of you guys are knitting that. Like I said, I did the slip extravaganza. And the other one I can't remember the name of, but I'll put it on the screen. And I'll show those the next time. And but I started the one last year, and I didn't love it, and I wasn't enjoying it, so I didn't finish it. So hoping, fingers crossed, that I really love this year. So those are some of my colors. So that will be to come. And that is all. Here I go again, dipping out of the frame. The only other thing I got in the mail was Lina. And let me tell you, I know the grocery girls talked about this. I'm going to turn that light off. On their episode, this last one, but I have to agree, they really knocked it out of the park with this one. This sweater, I'll be there in a second, with the, I believe it's called Flea Stitch on it. Let me tell you how stinking cute this thing is. Look at that. With the stitches for the raglan right there. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. So that, I would love to make that. One of the sweaters, I think it's one of these on here, was made with Let Lopey, which, you know, I don't know that I would need to wear here, but anyway, just gorgeous. The models are gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, just love that one. So if you haven't picked up, this is the Autumn 2023, number 18. And I think Tracy from the Grocery Girls actually test knit this one, but this cardigan here, let me get it in frame. Let's see here. There you go. Absolutely gorgeous. Just that little detail right here down the front. Looks like it's a twisted rib, and then here at this, it's just beautiful. What else did I love in this one? This is another picture of that same cardigan. The vest in here and these mittens and hat are so stinking cute. The baubles, if I could figure out where my camera was. There we go. How cute. Oh, everything is just beautiful. There's a colorwork sweater that I'm going to find here for you. There it is. It's not the best picture. Let's see if there's a better one. You can kind of see right there. So pretty. And the vest. There's another cardigan, I think, in here. This one. Some cable details. And if I could find the vest, there's a turtleneck, which is really pretty. I don't know that that would be my one that I would make, but it's beautiful. This vest, let me tell you guys, look at that. That seed stitch or linen stitch, I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure you could modify that if you don't want a, you know, turtleneck. But the stitch on the side, there it is. Look at that. Oh, that detail. They just carried that along there. The split hem. I don't know, guys. I want to make most of everything in here. Probably not the scarf, but it's beautiful itself. I don't know that I'd want to make it, but let me tell you, there it is. Absolutely gorgeous. So, if you are at your local yarn store, or you'd like to order it from them, definitely do that. There's also this cardigan, which is not necessarily my style, but still beautiful in and of itself. And there's recipes and article. I mean, Lina's, their books, their magazines, their publications are absolutely stunning. So, anyway, I just had to show that off because it's so stinking cute. The other thing I have for you, which I will put some video at the end, is this little shop by my house, and it is all about local artists. It's called When Pigs Fly. There you go. And there's the information. You can order from them online. And I'll put up the footage and pictures. And so when you pull up to this little shop, they have, it's just, you know, it's one of those things, you know, if you were just driving by, you probably wouldn't even notice. Gravel outside, you know, to kind of park at, gravel, like a parking lot. It's just a little house that, you know, on the outside, you might think, you know, some eccentric person lives there, but it has all these little things in it that are welded. And I will put up a picture of little welded gnome that I purchased there in the past. I'll put that picture up. But they have all sorts of stuff. Bears, flying pigs. I mean, I'll have video so you'll see it, but a ton of stuff outside that's all welded, hand welded. It's absolutely gorgeous. Then you go inside and they have all sorts of stuff. Soaps. They have these cute little things made with silverware, hand crocheted items, hand painted items, like jewelry. So it's all local artists. So if you'd like to go online and check them out, I thought I would just kind of share that little bit with you. So stinking cute. Such a great shop. And, you know, Christmas is coming, the holidays, whatever holiday you support, you know, that's fine. But you know, you may need some gifts. And so what a way to, you know, help out some local, maybe they're not local to you, but they're still artists of any kind, right? And we know how much time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears we put into our makes and our art. So, you know, you may want to just go online and check them out. So I thought I'd share that little bit. And the last thing that I have, which kind of goes with that stitch marker that I was talking about earlier, right? As I drop some yarn on the floor. Sorry for that crashing sound. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and if you're not interested in staying, I'm glad you came out and hung out with me. Thank you for showing up. And I will see you next time, I hope. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about some therapy talk. And real fast, I'm just going to talk about the books that I read, and I'm just going to kind of run through them. One of them was called The Invisible Husband of Frick Island by Colleen Oakley. Super cute little book about a small island in the Chesapeake Bay. It's a story about a journalist. His name is Anders Caldwell, and a female character from the island and her name is Piper Parrish, and she's a young widow on the island. I'm not going to tell you more about it. Go check it out. It's a cute read. The other thing I did read was A Spindle Splintered, which has probably been recommended 100 times on podcasts by Alex E. Haro. It's a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. And so it's 11 chapters. It's a short story. You know, might fill a little bit of your time. It's cute. It's reimagined. I enjoyed it. So anyway, just wanted to throw that in there and almost forgot. Okay. Therapy talk. So what I wanted to talk about was kind of goes into that little orange stitch marker I showed on my Alpine Bloom sweater of making goals for yourself. And how to do that. And it kind of ties into the last episode as well with when I talked about chunking your goals. The first thing I wanted to talk about was making SMART goals. And I'm not going to go into a ton of this. This is something that companies, you know, add into the goals that we're supposed to make as employees, which, you know, to be honest with you, mostly our goal is to stay employed, right? So, but that's a whole nother conversation and another podcast. But it can, these SMART goals can work with our day-to-day lives or our making or anywhere that you'd like to apply them where goals or things that you want to accomplish are involved. So SMART goals, acronym. S is for specific, so clear, precise, careful, defined. You want to just use the S part of your goal like you're talking to a child, right? You want to get really specific on what it is you want to do so that you can make the most clear goal. If you're just kind of like, you know, I want to, I don't know, I want to, you know, knit a sweater. Like, that's not very specific. Like, what do you want to do specifically? Like, you know, pretend aliens had just come down. You have to explain to them how to knit a sweater, right? So what do you want to do with that? Measured is the M. So how will you know that the objective that you had in your S part, your SMART part, is accomplished or was accomplished, right? So you want to make it measured. So you could say, I want to knit 2 inches on my sweater today, right? Or 1 inch on my sweater, or 10 rows, or however you want to put that. You can do that. Relevant, does it align with with successful results? So making sure Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped a letter there, didn't I? A is attainable. So SMA, so specific, measurable, attainable. Factors outside of control. Make sure you have the time and the energy. So if you want to do daily goals, right? As far as attainable goes. So maybe that day you didn't sleep well. Maybe you're going through a hard time in your life. Maybe, whatever the case may be, you have to make that goal attainable for that time frame, that measurement, the amount of energy you have that day, all of that stuff. So keep that in mind, because if we're making unrealistic goals for ourselves that we don't achieve, then we're not going to feel good about it, right? So make sure it's an attainable goal. And going back to where I jumped ahead, back to relevant. Does it align with successful results? So do you feel that it's specific enough, you can measure it, that it's a goal that is attainable, that it's something that you can actually achieve, right? And does it align with that? So that's relevant for the R. And then T is timely or time bound. So specify when it should be accomplished. Is it a daily goal? Is it a weekly goal, a monthly goal? I'd like, maybe especially since the new year's coming and a lot of people like to set goals for themselves for the year. So when do you want to achieve that goal? Do you want to achieve it daily, hourly? You can get as specific as you want, right? I would like to see how many rows I can knit in 10 minutes or an hour or whatever. So just a little bit about that. And, one of the things that I would like to know is, because I'm just kind of bringing these things to you as they come to me or as I think about them, or maybe sometimes it's something that people have talked about to me a lot during the week or the month. And I think maybe it'll be relevant and helpful to share with you. But I would love to hear if you guys have any sort of therapy, questions, goals, ideas, topics, whatever that you'd like me to maybe delve into a little bit more, and see what you guys would like as well. So let me know. So SMART goals might work for you. Real quick catch up on life things. Since the last episode, we had quite an issue with one of our dogs, and she was actually on the video on the last episode of my podcast. Her name is Ginger, and she went out in our yard while we had a thunderstorm and ran under our deck, because there's a little opening which is going to get closed at some point, but there's a little opening so she feels like she can take a little shortcut under the deck, and she got bit by a snake, and so we had to rush her not just to one, but to 3 emergency hospitals here. The first one said that they had a 4-hour wait. The second one took her in, but they were closing, so they couldn't keep her as long as they needed, and they couldn't do all the tests, so we had to take her to a third place. And they were able to do the tests. Luckily, we didn't have to do any anti-venom on her. It wasn't, I didn't seem like the snake injected a lot of venom in her, so we got lucky there, but that was pretty scary. So there was one night where I literally had an hour and a half of sleep, but she's fine. She's recovering. While she was in her recovery, she got an eye infection. She is part King Charles Cavalier, and they genetically have eye issues, and so she already has a genetic issue with one of her eyes, and because of the snake bite, her immune system was fighting that. It wasn't really helping her eye. She got an eye infection. We had to take her back to the vet, the emergency vet, because of course it happened over Labor Day weekend, and so everything was closed. So we had to take her back. She had a really serious eye infection, and so we were up until yesterday giving her giving her eye drops every 4 hours. So she had to have 3 and then 2 eye drops every 4 hours until yesterday, and now they're every 12 hours. But just be careful of your pets out there. We do have a lot of venomous copperheads. Luckily, according to the veterinarians that we spoke with, they are kind of low on the venomous scale, but yet they're still venomous. And this is the season that they're out in North Carolina. And so just be careful of your little four-legged babies. And so luckily, you know, thankfully she is fine. She's recovering. I keep looking over there because she's laying on the couch. But luckily she's fine. So that has really put a wrench in our lives the last couple of weeks, and that's been pretty much our main focus. So just to catch you up on that one, tell you to kiss your fur babies. And so that's about it. I am glad for each and every one of you that you want to spend time with me, and just a person, you know, I'm not any different than the rest of you. I'm just a person that loves art and yarn and fiber and all of those things. And so I'm glad that all of you want to spend some time with me, and I'm really grateful for each and every one of you. I hope you have a really great couple weeks. I will see you back soon. Closer to Rhinebeck. Hopefully I'll have 2 finished sweaters, or at least be closer. And like I say most of the time, please go give yourself the same grace that you would give everyone else. And I hope you take care. Bye-bye.